Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're in the right place at the right time. It must be Tuesday at 5 p.m. And I tell you, boy, we got a really great show going on today, and I'm so excited about it. We got some knowledge coming your way today, and we're gonna try and get as much knowledge out of this brother and sister as possible. So I am excited. We're gonna be talking about Moore Science Temple. Okay. So I'm looking forward to talking to them today and educating you in the ways of Moorish Science Temple. So don't go nowhere. Tell somebody, come on in. We're going to have it going on today. Stick around and stay. We got a great show. So let's get into our shout outs, our informational shout out for today. The first thing I want to do is give a shout out to all of our healthcare heroes, people that are on the front line, taking care of our loved ones and making sure that they are safe at a time like this. Because I tell you, we are still having difficulty with people getting sick, even people that have been vaccinated. They've got a lot of breakthrough cases. People that have not been vaccinated, they are getting sick as well. So we need our healthcare heroes to be prayed up and encouraged because we got another wave of attack coming our way. And I just want to encourage people to lift up our heroes in our community because their job is to help keep our loved ones alive and well and send them back to us. And I'm excited because they're doing a wonderful job of doing that. They have been working hard all through the first year of this. And now we're getting ready to hit the second wave of this, and they're doing a great job. So keep them lifted up, keep them prayed up, and keep them encouraged for the job that they do. Also, want to give a shout out to all of our spiritual leaders that are on the front line. Our spiritual leaders on the front line have been keeping us motivated and encouraged. And I tell you, that is a wonderful thing because we need motivation and encouragement. Okay, so keep your leadership prayed up, keep them encouraged. We need you to pray for them. If you don't have leadership, I can recommend some leadership to you because they need to be encouraged as well. Okay, this is strange territory that we're in. Nobody has ever seen the magnitude of disaster that we have been involved in. So, this is all new. So, we encourage you to pray for them, keep them lifted up, keep them encouraged as well. Um, if you don't have someone that you consider your leadership, let me recommend somebody to you. Let's slide over here. And I want to invite everybody to go over to ask-dr-ron.com. When you get over there, I want you to scroll all the way up to the top and you will find all of my social media platforms. You'll see Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. On my YouTube channel, you will find a place for Dr. Lord Michael Hunt. I have been traveling with him and working with him for over 30 years now. And I promise you, he will say some things that will encourage you fully. You know, knowledge that you may not be aware of, but check him out. There's a whole playlist right there on my YouTube channel. There's also a place where you can subscribe, like, and share all of that information that he has been talking about for the last 30 plus years. But check him out. And then you can also check out our other past shows that are stored there on our YouTube channel. So while you're on my website, scroll down. You know, you'll get to a place where you'll get a chance to see uh, our other network shows, Street News Now, a show that we do each and every Thursday. And then you'll run across my affiliates, Chicago Communicator News Media. And then you'll get to our advertisers. Now, without them, we're not able to do what we do here on the Ask Dr. Ron show. So we need you to support them. If you're interested in establishing a website, go over there. RRJ Web will help you develop and even fix websites that you already have in place. He can help you fix those things. We also have Prince Hunter Financial Group. If you're interested in learning how to uh, trade the stock market, trade Forex, he can help you with those learning. Quick Fisher Tax Services is another person that you can talk to about taxes. Also, we have Port Again Sam. Now, if you are a person that enjoys wines and spirits from all over the world, Port Again Sam brings it in from all over the world. And I promise you, you will not find anything better than what he can bring to your table. Call him up, tell him you want to do a wine tasting, and find your new favorite wine. Also, we have Chief Nomo, who brings in products from the west coast of Africa, Ghana. Moringa seed. He also provides alkaline water in the community on the south side of Chicago. So check him out. All right. And that's all of our, nope, one more. Synergy. If you're interested in finding out some information on how to turn your home or business into an energy efficient operation with solar panels and other energy saving devices, get in contact with them. Synergy. We had Osei on the show a little while back, and I promise you, he is doing great things in our community. So those are our advertisers. Please support them. Let them know you heard about it on the Ask Dr. Ron show, and you're interested. If you're interested in being an advertiser, reach out to me. I will make arrangements to put you on the website, and we'll talk about you. We'll bring you on as a guest, and we'll talk about what your products, goods, or services are each and every time that we go live. So, like I said a little while ago, I'm excited about the guests that we have coming on the show today. We've got some, very informed guests that's going to share their knowledge with us. So, right now we have on the line with us Grand Sheik Love L, and we're also looking for Miss Moalt Love to come on the line with us. Now, Grand Sheik is with us from the Chicagoland area, and Miss Moalt is in the California area. Now, she called in a little while ago. She's en route to a location where she can join us on the show directly. But like I said at the top of the show, they are affiliated with the Moorish Science Temple. And this is their first time on the show. So I'm really excited about getting information from them about Moorish Science Temple. So welcome to the show, Grand Sheik.
Oh, praise the Lord. Thank you for having me, brother. I appreciate the opportunity and I give honors to yourself and your platform.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. You know, many people may not know what Moorish Science Temple is. So can you give us a little definition of what Moorish Science Temple is?
All right, very good. The Moorish Science Temple of America was founded by Prophet Noble Jew Ali in the year of 1913 AD in Newark, New Jersey. The purpose of the Moorish Science Temple of America is to teach the people the truth about their nationality and their birthrights, and that we are not Negroes, colored folks, black people, Ethiopians, and that we are descendants of Moroccans and born in America, which is why we are Moorish Americans, more specifically Moorish American Muslims. So, are there any questions at this point, brother?
Yeah. So would you consider Moorish Science of America a religious organization?
Yes, that is correct. The Moorish Science Temple of America is a body politic as well as a religious organization or religious society that was set up in accordance to uh, the Religious Corporation Act. So it's on the lines of, say, like the Vatican, which is also a religious organization that's headed up by the Pope.
Mm-hmm.
Well, with our organization, it's the Grand Sheik, which is the head of the nation or the state or the religious society. And we have a divine constitution and bylaws. We also have our book of statutes, which is also the Circus and the Koran. So the main objective, one of the main objectives of the Moorish Science Temple of America is to educate the people about the true history of this land as it relates to the present Moroccan Empire and the proper title for it. So America in and of itself is a region, and we are charged to teach our people the truth about who they are and where they come from so that our people can begin to take ownership and the governance of this land.
Now, when you say governance of the land, what exactly does that mean, governance of the land?
Well, what it means, good brother, is that our people have been put to sleep, and due to centuries of being asleep, or rather decades more properly, we have awoken, we have returned back from the great sleep because due to the fact that our forefathers, due to the fact that we dishonored the creed and the principles of our forefathers, we were subject to slavery. But this was the same case for every other nation. The only difference between our nation and the other nations of the world is that we went to sleep, and the other nations they never forgot. They were under slavery, but they never forgot their heart, they never forgot their history. They never forgot what their cause. We were the only people that fell asleep totally. So we came and we woke back up with amnesia. So that's the part of the reason why someone had to be sent to bring us out of the state of being a footstool of all the other nations of the earth because we had forgotten who we were.
Okay. Right quick, I want to give a shout out to KZ who's listening. Karen Lyons, all the way over in Australia. Welcome to the show. Chris Bass, my brother in broadcasting. He's tuned in. Donald Green, all the way out in Arizona. He's tuned in. Shout out to you as well. So, when you say that we are asleep, you're referencing the fact that um, we were abused and taken advantage of as a race of people, and we have not stood up or standing up to try and deal with any of these injustices on any kind of level. Is that am I close to what you're referencing, or you mean something else?
Well, what I'm saying, good brother, is that we fell asleep. We had forgotten the great promise that had been made to our people, uh, and this is through Abraham. So I understand. I want to tie it in because I understand that the people are used to the biblical teachings. So I want to take it to I do a few brief readings to bring us up to speed as to where this is all coming from. Now, in Genesis 12, verse 1 to 3, it reads, "Now the Lord said to Abram, go forth from your country and from your relatives and from your father's house to the land which I will show you, and I will make you a great nation, and I will bless you and make your name great, and so you shall be a blessing. And I will bless those who bless you, and the ones who curse you I will curse, and in you all the families of the earth will be blessed." And then let's go to Genesis 22, verse 17, where it reads, "Indeed, I will greatly bless you, and I will greatly multiply your seed as the stars of the heaven, and as the sand, which is on the seashore. Your seed shall possess the gates of their enemies. So we have forgotten, we have fell asleep because we didn't honor our foremothers and forefathers, the creed that says that you have to honor your foremothers and forefathers that the days may be longer lengthened by the God Allah, which he has given thee. So when we stop honoring our ancestors, then that's when we suffered the amnesia, the fate of amnesia. And that also means that we were cut off from the continuity of being aligned with our forefathers and that fulfillment of the promise. So we had to be reminded of not only who we were, but of the promise that had been made to us through Abraham.
Okay.
So if you recall through the Bible, you know, Hebrew Israelites, you know, the people, the special people that were chosen by the great God, whenever they forgot or whenever they strayed away, that's when the continuity was cut off. And they would begin to suffer until they were reminded of who they were. So this is the same condition where one named Noble Drew Ali had to be sent back and even to prepare a religious society for our sanctuary. So this is the
Absolutely.
part of the mission that we are engaged in as we do the work that we're doing.
Okay. Well, first of all, let me do this. Let me welcome Moalt Love to the show. She's
Mhm.
finally made it into her
Love you.
position, you know. So she's here.
Yes.
Welcome to the show. As you see, we are talking about the conversation about people being asleep. So, I guess my question now would be, since we are considered a nation of being asleep, what would be the awakening, the thing that would come along that would cause us to be more enlightened to the what it is that we need to know? Where would you say this awake, or what kind of awakening would you say this would be?
Is that question for me? Pardon me, Dr. Ron.
Either one. Both of y'all are
Oh,
guests.
okay.
Yeah.
Both of y'all are
Well,
guests, so
I,
it can go either way.
let me, well, doctor, let me go ahead and bring her into it because she's coming in on conversation. We were speaking about the awakening of the people, our people, being referred to as Negroes, colored folks, black people, and Ethiopians, and how we are charged to teach our people the truth about their nationality and birthrights. And I was mentioning the great sleep because it makes a reference to us being cut off from not just our identity, but also the remembering. That's why I was reading from Genesis. It relates to the promise that was made to Abraham as it relates to our people, and the fact that when we dishonor our foremothers and forefathers, we cut ourselves off from not only just our identity, but also the promise, the remembering of the promise that was made to Abraham all those years ago, all those generations ago. Islam.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Islam. I am assistant Grand Sheikess to the Grand Sheik, and pardon me, as things may have it, law govern all events. So I feel like I am on time. Yeah, to add to that, Grand Sheik, thank you for allowing us this platform, Dr. Ron. The sleep that we refer to
Before you keep,
is,
excuse me, take your finger off off your camera. Put your finger
oh,
on your
okay.
camera. I want everybody to see you. There you go. Okay, thank you.
Okay, okay,
Continue.
okay.
Continue.
Yeah, this is a new phone. I'm learning. That sleep that we're referring to is the same sleep that was spoken about in our Holy Bible, the King James Version. And it referenced us going to sleep in a land that was not ours. And we would wake up like dry bones. And that sleep, our people are resting good, but there's a remnant that's awoke. And in addition to that remnant being awoke, there are others that's aware of, as they say, 40 acres and a mule. A lot of our people are aware of that land that was supposed to be given to us from as a result of the slavery experience we all experienced. So it's connected in a way. In fact, Dorothy Tillman I made great effort trying to connect with her back in the day when she was alderman there in Chicago. Dorothy was working on that 40 acres in the mule reparation, I believe that's what they call it. And I want to let our people know here in North America, the President of Rocket Empire, which is referred to as the Union States, the United States of America, which is an overlapping jurisdiction. Please know that you're at home, and it's more than 40 acres. What it is, in fact, is 5 continents, and it has been filed in Cook County Recorder Deeds Office since 1928. August 1st, 2:52 p.m. It was filed. Book 521, page 79. Some would call it page 579. A lot of fraudulent activity has occurred during that time that the Prophet Noble Jew Ali filed that document. And the mandate was lost. And I know I'm going deep, but I had to attach all of that because it's real. It is so real, and our people have remnants of it, which is a great thing because holding on to that 40 acres in a mule will keep you conscious of the fact that you are playing rich. As a result of Joseph going into Egypt, being sold by his brothers, in fact, and that famine hitting Egypt, and his brothers having to go and get food, leave home, and what they didn't expect was to see the brother that they sold. And that's how we got into Egypt because Joseph found favor with the pharaohs. And Joseph set up provinces. So when his brothers did come and Joseph realized those was his brothers, I would like to say to all the sisters that's on this platform and past it, if you're not on this platform, and whenever you watch this, let your children watch. I believe it's called Joseph, the King of Dreams, because it depicts a story, a true story from our Holy Bible about how that one man went in and brought the whole family in. And you will see how, if you read the story to your children from the Bible, you will see how Joseph brought all of his brethren into Egypt. And that's how we got all that gold. We are the pharaohs. This is how Egypt looked today. So I know I went a little deep, but yes, we are plain rich. I am the Sheikist that found that. What was it? Somewhat like 20 years ago, Grand Sheik. I
Yes,
was
this is
down there
daughter.
researching, and
That's
I found
Sheik.
the trust.
Yes,
Yes,
Sheik.
I went into the warehouse, which is where the book was housed. I had no idea what I was going to see when I went there. A very dark place. The book was so old when I opened it up, it reminded me of this movie I saw called The Time Machine, where they had books. They went into time where all the books, when you touched them, they turned into powder. And this is how old that book was. The pages, when I opened the book up, I basically tore the cover off. I didn't know it was that old. I had no idea that this ancient information would be housed in a book that was over 100 years old. The pages crumbled. I'm telling on myself now.
That would start the succession. That would start the
But that
succession.
started the succession of researching, investigating who I am, where I come from, and definitely when you wake up and find out that you're wealthy, you're plain rich, as this man said, you just can't go by what I say or what you hear. You have to do your own research. You have to study and investigate because you have to know for yourself. Knowing is half the battle. When I found out, much pain, much grief, tears of joy and sadness because looking at the condition of our people here in North America today, you can see that we can use some of that finance today. The families, the mothers, the children, the brothers. We are basically a nation with the foot of our enemies on our neck. And having this much money, my grandmother used to say, it's a crying shame to be in this condition. And this is why I am front and center on my assignment, helping to uplift my people because we deserve what the great God and what our ancestors have left for us. Our ancestors being Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, and all the others, Hagar, all the other people that's attached to them. That's
Exactly.
our legacy. What a great legacy. Thank you.
So let me ask two questions. All right. And earlier in the conversation, Grand Sheik, you referenced that the more science Temple as a religious organization, you have a Bible or a book that you worship from, which is the Quran,
Circle 7 Koran.
Circle
Yes.
7 Quran. But then I noticed that you reference scriptures from the King James version. Is there a similarity in the both of those books?
All right. Our primary book of study that we reference is the Circle 7 Koran. However, the Holy Bible is also an instrument that we study from. We study from the Holy Quran. We study from the Vedas, the Avestas. Uh, that's the thing that I love about the Moorish Science Temple of America. We have a well-rounded list of literature and documents that we can draw from as far as our studies and as everything that relates to a trust. So also the Circle 7 Koran, the Divine Constitution and Bylaws, and the Moorish Questionnaire, the 101s, those are the three trust instruments that we study from as it relates to the information as we teach our people. So it's almost like this. You have certain documentation, and there's levels to um, the importance of the documentation. So the Bible, the Quran, and other documents that we research from can be considered as secondary. Whereas the Circle 7 Koran, the Divine Constitution and Bylaws, the 101s would be considered as primary documents that we research from. So, and in um, whether or not we determine whether it's primary or secondary determines the context that it will be used in, the information. So, like for example, when I read from Genesis, I was reading that information became primary in the sense that it was relating to the trust as it relates to the promise and the land that was left for us. So there's a continuity that's been attached. So we have been reminded of who we are. And now it all makes sense once again because remember, we had fell asleep and slavery was the result of us being asleep because you can't, that's the thing. When you're intelligent and you know who you are, it's impossible to enslave you.
Okay. So now, just a general question about Moors universally across the continents, all the continents. Would you say that your Moorish Science Temple would have a affiliation or general, because like just as an example, when you talk about Christian organizations, you got Baptists, you got Protestant, Methodist, Catholic, they have different, organizations within under the title of Christian. So, would you have the same type of information or affiliation with when you say Moorish Science Temple? I know you specified, you said of America, but would there
Mhm.
be, of Africa, of
That's a
Asia?
very good question, brother.
Yeah.
Yes, actually, the founder, he was in his brilliance. He created a situation where you could have a more science temple of Africa or of Nigeria or of Mexico. You understand? So there is provisions for that to manifest. And as well, the Rotarian complexion allows for other organizations to operate under the banner and authority of the temple because we have subordinate temples as well as businesses that are allowed to organize and operate and do business under our banner or under the sanctuary of protection that's provided by the body politic known as the Moorish Science Temple of America. So you are correct in that assessment, and the Rotarian complexion that has been created allows us to do just that. So do you want to speak towards that, Sheikah?
Yes, I Could you repeat that question, please?
No, we were speaking about the Rotarian complexion when the brother literally said, is there like a possibility for it to be a more science temple of a man?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes. In fact, to secure it, we have charters that we issue throughout the United States. So
And
that, yes, etc., which means in any country, anywhere where you can put your foot on solid ground, there are Moors that can represent. The flag can be uplifted because remember, the sun never set on our empire. This is the present Moroccan Empire. So we are universal. Here, there, we can be everywhere. Because what we represent is, that's right, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice.
Yes.
Love, love. Love is the Allah's love, and love conquers all things. And this is why we're an everlasting movement until the never ending days to come, because we unify DNA with love. Because love, not only does it know no shame, love is the beginning of all things. And it's going to end in love.
Our first principle.
It's our first
principle. Principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Those are the 5 oldest principles known to man. And in fact, our religion is older. It's the oldest religion. Is Islamism, not Islam, but Islamism. And this is the faith of Muhammad. And a lot of times people mistaken the faith of Muhammad with Islamism or Islam. Islam is different from the faith of Muhammad. The faith of Muhammad is the same as the faith of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's where
same faith.
Unity. Yes. The Islam
faith
is the faith of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, as well as Muhammad. So the faith of Muhammad in the form of Islam existed way before 1400 years. So a lot of times people mistaken that and get that confused, where you have Al-Islam and then you have Islamism, which is the faith of the Moorish American Muslims. So I just wanted to make that distinction. All right.
Right, because under that, absolutely, Grand Sheik, under that Islamic banner, you also have the Sunnis, the Sufis, the Shiites, just like the Christians. You have the apostolic, the apostles. You have different faiths with Islam, and that, in that way, that same way, we are similar because we have different faiths of Islam. We have different organizations, branches, different branches of Islam. We are the Moorish American Muslims, and we have religious discriminations. We have religious controversies, that is, within the Islamic realm of things, where some may say, oh, he's not real, and some may take on that, I say they take on the job of Allah, because only Allah, the incomprehensible, can say what is and what is not. And according to my research, study, and investigation, the Prophet Noble Jew Ali has earned his keep on this planet. He was divinely prepared and sent. And the proof has been revealed already through the prophecies that has been revealed, because I'm not into man, woman worship. I just like to share with the sisters, as a young mother, teenage mother, one of the greatest things that you can do is to teach your babies, start to teaching your babies before they can learn to talk, how to pray. Teach your children that there is a God and that God lives inside of them. I think Yahshua, Jesus, because the alphabet J did not exist 2,000 years ago, I have to use my intelligence and say Yahshua, his brilliance was so great. I believe he began teaching at 5. So know that mothers, by the time your children are 5, it's basically, they've been programmed.
At 12.
They've been, at 12 officially, yes, Jesus began to teach. And in the Christian church, I believe they say that's when your sins are upon yourself. In the African village, our children go through the rites of passages at 12. So mothers today have to begin to step up their game. And I want to share with the mothers, one of the ways that you can do that is to teach your children the truth about who they are. Let them know that God is real. Teach your children to pray. Because when you teach your children to pray and it's prayer time, you got you and your babies. If it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9, 13, you got all that spirit and energy praying with you. And prayer is power. And understand it's a force behind prayer, mothers. The children praying, because children's hearts are so pure, the heart of the righteous availeth much. And as a young teenage mother raising my children alone, I found that the prayers of my children helped to break a lot of that poverty, that false poverty, those shackles. When food was low, when finance was low, those prayers that I taught my children to pray came in handy, because I found out, talking to someone very wise, an elder, that if I invest in my children, it would be one of the greatest investments that can be made on this planet, to invest in your babies. I cried a lot, mothers, because I wanted to give my children the world. And I tried and I sacrificed and I tried it. And I got burned. And I came home to my babies. And I know some of you mothers out there, you probably can't come home to your children because you're the only one. It's one form of income. And so you're going to have to really work extra hard, especially if you're in college and school. But if you are a mother that's home with your children, please make it count. Make it count. That's that famous line that I got from Titanic. And it exploded in my brain. You got to make it count, mother, because what you have is jewels, some of the greatest jewels that you will ever be able to muster up on this planet. And understand, mother, you don't leave your jewels with anybody. You would leave a rock, a diamond the size of your fist balled up, standing on a bus stop or unattended. You would keep your eyes on that rock because you know it's worth hundreds of billions of dollars. A diamond, a pearl, a jewel the size of your fist balled up. Well, your children are much more precious than that, mom, dad. I guarantee you that. And when after you do what you're supposed to do by educating them, let me tell you how important that education is. I was listening to, I think it was maybe 15, it could have been 15 years ago. The sister, Angela Davis, was being interviewed. And this interview that she was on, Julius Bond was interviewing her, I believe. And she talked about how her mother, listen at me real good, mothers. Angela Davis talked about how her mother talked to her about law enforcement when she was 3. And yes, I believe my sister, because I spoke to my children at that young, tender age about things they should know, because that's when you begin to educate your children. At the tender age at 3, because the brain is so powerful and it understands everything. They're outthinking you, whether you know it or believe it. I know. Her parents educated her about the feds. They had questioned that she should say nothing. At 5, she understood the game, discrimination. Her mother explained to her when she was in the tender age at 3, what was going on, but it's not right. And one day it's going to change. So let your children know the truth. Let them know about what's going on in this world, the discrimination, the hatred against us, and how we're not able to, we have to fight for everything we get. Let them understand why they're in the school systems and why they are where they are. Explain to your children what's going on in the world, and you will not regret it. No. You see Angela Davis, how she turned out. Her mother educated her. I believe her parents were teachers.
Hey, beloved, I wanted to share something with the family.
Please do. I just wanted to get that out to the mothers, because I know that there's a lot of mothers out there hurting, struggling, don't know which way to go. And the brothers are out there standing back. Brothers step up. It's a lot of brothers out there raising their children. Go ahead, Grand Sheik.
Dr. Temple. This is something that's going to affect the families. Okay, this is
Yes.
my Moorish literature book. And this is the Moorish Science Temple of America was founded by the Prophet Noble Ali. Aside from the fact that it is a legally organized religious corporation, it is building on human needs. To this desirable end, in times legitimate means will be found to dispense charity and provide for the mutual assistance of its members in times of distress, to
Mm-hmm.
aid in the improvement of health, and to encourage the ownership of better homes, to find employment for our members, to teach those fundamental principles which are desired for our civilization, such as obedience to law, respect and loyalty to government, tolerance and unity. It is most earnestly hoped that the Moorish Science Temple of America will not in any way be confused with any Back to Africa movement. Such is not important insofar as American citizens of our group colonizing Africa are concerned. We of the Moorish Science Temple of America, like countless other American citizens, know that we must live together here in America in harmony, friendship, and goodwill, whatever our race and creed may be. It is only from a purely religious standpoint, it seems at this time, that we differ from a large number of our fellow Americans. We believe in and foster the Muslim religion. We believe in the principles of its teaching insofar they can be adopted to American life. We feel that the Christian religion is all right for those who prefer it. In America, religious freedom is guaranteed all under the Constitution. We are interested in freeing ourselves and our children from the greatest plight, economics, slavery. We
Slavery.
believe
That's
this can be
Islam.
best done by encouraging, patronizing, and establishing our own business enterprises and cultivating our own acres of land. We welcome into our folds men and women of our group of all sections, all trades, occupations, and professions of sound mind and good character. We are friends and servants of humanity. We are dedicated to the purpose of elevating the moral, social, and economic status of our people. We have
Amen.
set about to do this through a wide of embodying the principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice.
Thank
Well,
you so much for that,
look,
Grandson.
let me jump in here because I know y'all can go on and on and on because you all are excited about what you have and what you offer the community. But like, say for instance, somebody is following this broadcast today and they want to try and get more information to be able to enlighten themselves with. Um, in that long along those lines, first let me ask you: are Europeans allowed into your organization? Let me ask that question first.
You want to deal with that, Sheik?
Yes, I guess I can. Uh, some things are for sometimes some people. Everything is not for everybody. And this is one of those things, whereas the prophet came for the so called Negro, blacks, and colored, the abused, misused, disrespected, raped, and robbed nation of people who lost their birthright, who lost their nationality. And the man was divinely prepared and sent by a great God. I didn't send him. Allah sent the Prophet Noble Ali to help uplift us as a result of us being so dogged out. The European already straight. A lot, he's sitting pretty. You understand? They're doing good. We let them in our house. And look at how they're doing us. This is the present Moroccan Empire. So, no, the Moorish Science Temple of America is not for you, my European brothers and sisters, even though I am your mother. Okay, I am Sarah. I had you in my womb, two nations, Esau and Jacob. Okay, but this here is for the seed of Jacob. Esau, you straight right now. All you need to do is learn to love so we can get things back on point with this planet. Because if you don't, then you already know what's going to go down. You got to go home. You're 3,000 miles from home in boxcars. You got to go the way you came. And it's all love and it's all peace. And what we must do is treat you right when we get on top. Even though a lot of our hearts have been broken, shattered, liquefied, we're still got to honor the principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Because otherwise, if we don't, we're not worthy. We're not worthy. You understand? It has to be right. Allah is calling the shots. Nobody's in control of this. Allah had the elements. This is spiritual warfare. So anybody that think they running something, then I guarantee you, when that earthquake hit and she opened up her mouth and swallowed everything, I want to see how much control you got when those tsunamis and those volcanoes hit. Because if the media does not return that integrity once again, and if they don't stop calling our people by names that allude to slavery, I guarantee you this: many will live to see havoc. You look, Sodom and Gomorrah has nothing on what's waiting in the wings. The angels are waiting. You can think this is a game and you can play if you want and act like this is our stuff. This is not our stuff. This is the world's stuff. Freedom is everyone's job, with all due respect.
Okay.
The fact that we are standing up with our assignment,
okay,
you understand,
so you answered
means
the
that
question.
you need to come home.
So you answered the question. Europeans are not allowed. So now, if a person wants to find more additional information about what you all are teaching and how to understand the principles, how would they go about it? Okay, because we got your information on the screen. We got the phone number and the email address listed on the screen here underneath you all's name, so they can contact you directly. But do you have a location? Do you have some place where they can say, hey, I was listening to the Ask Dr. Ron show and you sparked my interest. I want to come over here and stick my, is there a membership? Do they have to pass a background check? I mean, what is the criteria to get additional information about what you all, represent and what it's about?
All right, Dr. Ron, I'll deal with this. But before I get into that, I mean, because the Sheik came flaming sword, so let me see if I can attach some salve to the wound.
Okay, Francis.
Now, they are allowed to attend meetings. They're not allowed to become members.
Okay.
Right?
You talking about Europeans?
They are allowed to be sympathizers.
You talking about Europeans?
Right.
Okay, you're going back to that. Okay, got you.
They're allowed to sympathize with us.
Yes, sympathizers.
So we do have European sympathizers. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to go over some information to kind of open up why we have the position that we have. And this is due to what's in our literature. So I'm going to go ahead and read up to that point so that the audience has a better understanding.
Now, we ain't got but 10 minutes now, so don't get too long.
Okay, it's not going to be long-winded. I'm going to get through it fast.
Please.
This is from the end of times, fulfilling of the prophecy. And it states that the last prophet of these days and times is Noble Drew Ali, who was prepared divinely in due time by Allah to redeem men from their sinful ways and to warn them of the great wrath which is sure to come upon the earth. John the Baptist was the forerunner of Jesus in those days to warn and stir up the nation and prepare them to receive the divine creed which was to be taught by Jesus. In these modern days there came a forerunner who was divinely prepared by the great God Allah, and his name is Marcus Garvey, who did teach and warn the nations of the earth to prepare to meet the coming prophet, who was to bring the true and divine creed of Islam, and his name is Noble Drew Ali, who was prepared and sent to this earth by Allah to teach the old-time religion and the everlasting gospel to the sons of men, that every nation shall and must worship under their own vine and fig tree, and return to their own and be one with their Father God Allah. The Moorish Science Temple of America is a lawfully chartered and incorporated organization. Any subordinate temple that desires to receive a charter, the Prophet has them to issue to every state throughout the United States, etc. That the world may hear and know the truth, that among the descendants of Africa there is still much wisdom to be learned in these days for the redemptions of the sons of men under love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. We, as a clean and pure nation, descended from the inhabitants of Africa, do not desire to amalgamate or marry into the families of the pale-skinned nations of Europe, neither serve the gods of their religion, because our forefathers are the true and divine founders of the first religious creed for the redemption and salvation of mankind on earth. Therefore, we are returning the church and Christianity back to the European nations as it was prepared by their forefathers for their earthly salvation, while we, the Moorish Americans, are returning to Islam, which was founded by our forefathers for our earthly and divine salvation. The covenant of the great God Allah. Honor thy father and thy mother, and thy days may be long upon the earth land, which the Lord thy God Allah hath given thee. Come, all ye Asiatics of America, and hear the truth about your nationality and birthrights, because you are not Negroes. Learn of your forefathers' ancient and divine creed, that you will learn to love instead of hate. We are trying to uplift fallen humanity. Come and link yourselves with the families of nations. We honor all the true and divine prophets. And with that said, good brother, how they can get in contact with us is through the email, through the phone number. We're in the process of bringing things into the manifestation of where it can all be seen. But this is being worked out through the courts. There's a lot of technical things that we can't go into. Time won't permit. I believe the Sheik she tapped in, just very
Spinachi bit, baby. Just
right. Well,
spinachi bit, my love.
And give a P.O. box. So that is the only physical location we can offer right now, and that is Moorish Science Temple of America, P.O. Box 6203, Chicago, Illinois, zip code 60680. But inshallah, very soon, it's going to pop up. It's going to be like something like you've never seen, because this is a manifestation of the will of Allah fulfilling the promise to our forefathers that was made back in the days of Abraham. And this is just the fulfillment and the culmination of it in these days and times. The Moorish Science Temple of America being that vehicle. So there it is, brother. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I appreciate that. So understanding that there's information, you can get information, you can get additional fellowship.
Applications. We have applications that we will be, if people reach out to us, then we will send them an application, which we'll be putting on file, and we'll be updating everybody and getting them nationality cards issued, and we'll be putting all of the other subordinate temples on point, because there's a lot of things that have to go on behind the scenes in order for the coordination to line up the way it's supposed to. But yeah, brother, without going into the privacy of those things, that's what we have with it right now. They can contact us, and we will reach back out and let them know.
Okay. All right, that's a beautiful thing. So, we hit on a lot of things. It's only an hour. We got about 5 minutes left. Pretty much.
We come back and update y'all on the show, brother.
Yeah, appreciate that. So let me ask you this, without going too long with the explanation. I understand that the Moors have, kept up with the history of people of color down through the centuries. And Moors were travelers around the world far before the Europeans were. And it has also been stated that the Moors organized civilization long before the Europeans did. They were still living in caves while, the Moors were, cultivating and building empires. So what would you say from, your studies or knowledge of the Moors, them to not be the dominant race or empire in the world like they once were?
Well,
gratification of the lower self. That's simple.
Straying after strange gods of Europe whom we knew nothing of, if just to put it simply.
Okay.
Right. That lower self.
Okay.
And that was the fall.
Let your mic go.
Man.
Let your mic go. There you go. All right. Now just talk.
Right.
Okay.
That was the fall of man. Gratification of the lower self. Yes, indeed. I just like to say, Dr. Ron, I'd like to give a shout out to all of the Moors out there, the so-called Negroes, blacks, colors, African Americans, those referring to themselves by the N word. I want to let the people know, our people, the melanated people, know that they are some of the most powerful, forceful people on this planet. Okay. And that I love you with a love that will never die. And I'm no different from you. Okay. No better than you. I put the work in. I did the research to find out who I am. And when I found out, I went to the streets to let you know who you are because we're one and the same. Whenever you're ready to proclaim your nationality, give us a call because if you don't, you're going to be part of the blood pool that rises up to the horse's eyebrow. I'm not trying to frighten you, scare you, or intimidate you. I am letting you know the truth today. I'm out here front and center, and I need your help. If you're not going to get out here, roll your sleeves up to help me save some of these babies and women and the men that are out here, our nation, then send your finance. Send something. Do something. To the rich and wealthy, time is short. You know the truth, a lot of you. You don't have to do nothing. You can wait on it. You'll see, because the angels is not going to play with none of us. If I'm not ready and I don't prepare with that 90-day supply of food and water, I'm going to be crying right with you, okay, biting into my arm, upset and angry while that blood gush out. I'm going to be right there. Just like Katrina, take note, because it's here. The wrath is here. I love you all with a love that would never die. Take it any way you want. Please, I'm asking you, don't believe me. Do your own research, study, and investigation. But whatever you do, wake up, proclaim your nationality, save the children's, save your babies. Even if you don't save yourself, give your babies a chance, okay? Do something. It's time to John Q it. Peace.
Yeah. Well, she made her final statement. So, Grand Sheik, you got something you want to leave with the people before we get out of here?
Yes, I sure do. I want to also send out my never dying love to the people. Also, want to take the people back to a memory that I had when I was walking to school one day as a sophomore in high school, and I saw the word Moorish American written on the wall in graffiti. That was my introduction to Moorish science, as far as my history. So it didn't come from the public school system. I was blessed to be able to join when I was 18 years old. But I want to encourage the people and camelback on what the Sheikas was saying by telling the people to do their research, study, and investigation to confirm what we're saying, because we're no different from you. We put the work in. We love you. We look like you see. And the only difference between us is that we have an understanding and we know who we are and we can verify it and we can back it up. So you have to come into the understanding of being the message that you bring, because we are what our forefathers were without any doubt of contradiction. And with that, I'll yield the floor and say peace.
I know that's
Yes,
right.
absolutely. This man got our land. Brothers, it's time for y'all to stand up and be strong. If they don't, sisters, you all got to stand up. I'm not going down. And I know I'm home and I know I'm rich. You got to be out your mind to think that I'm going to fall back. And I'm home? Not today, baby. What they say, what's that record say that brother made? Home court advantage? What if
Yeah,
the brother
not my house,
not my
very
house? You know, maybe on the street, maybe somewhere else, not in my house. We got home court advantage, and you know what that means, Dr. Ron? We come to win. We got to win. We're here to win, and Allah is on our side, angels and the elements. So what good is your guns, bullets, all that stuff is
grass, the land,
weak.
the water, everything is on our side. We have home.
Man, look, when that angel
Well,
opened up
look.
that, first of all, you got to wake up,
Well, look,
okay,
we
to do
got
harm to the
She
Moors.
came with that
You have to
fire.
wake up.
Wow.
we got to
She
get
came
out
with
of
that
here,
fire.
y'all.
She switched generations on us, brother.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't expect it like that.
Look, we
Hey,
got
I'm
to
loving
get.
y'all. I'm loving this show.
Yeah.
Prosperity to you, brother Dr. Ron.
Well,
And blessings to all of those who hear, who have an ear to hear what the Spirit says.
okay. Well, look, we got to
Peace.
get out of here. You guys have to come back and we can talk some more, because I got some more questions that I want to bring out that we didn't get a chance to get to today. But I appreciate y'all taking time out of your busy schedule to come and share with us.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Your
sir.
information is right there on the screen. you guys can reach out to them, and I'm sure they'll be glad to enlighten you, to the fullest. So you guys stay right where you at. Don't go nowhere. We're gonna get out of
Yeah,
here.
check us out on Moorish News. Okay, YouTube, Moorish News. Sheik Loville. Check us out. Some of our videos. We out there
You through?
for more
Can
information.
I close? Can
Yes.
I close my show now? Thank you.
Please do, sir. Please do. Peace to the people. Peace to the empire.
Y'all just stay right there. Be quiet now, okay? Look,
Yes, sir.
y'all go over to my website, ask-dr-ron.com. You'll see a place where you can make contributions. We need your support. Please donate. Cash App, Zelle. Our information is currently right there where you all can support what we do here, support all of our advertisers. Please come back and check me out on next week. We're going to have another great show. We're going to get out of here. Peace and love. See you all on next week.